As a parent, you know how exciting it is for a child to hit and develop their milestones. Watching your baby grow and watching their brain kind of figure out what it's doing, connect to the body, be able to tell the body how to act, the muscles how to move, is a very exciting thing and makes you a really proud parent. But sometimes our babies like to hit their milestones a little bit early, a little bit late, out of order. And so, does that really matter? At our office, we talk so much about how the timing of milestones is very, very crucial. So, when we are talking about milestones, we are talking about children hitting certain motor, developmental, sometimes even fine motor, but just developmental things in a specific sequence of time. So, you'll often hear that babies should walk by 1 year. And while that is true for the average, and that's what happens for the average baby, that isn't necessarily all that matters. We always talk about how crawling is super important and crawling should happen first. Crawling now is not considered a milestone under CDC guidelines, but we really think it's probably the most important thing a baby does and does properly. And so we would much prefer a baby to crawl for 4 months really, really well before walking, even if that means walking is a little bit late. We really care that things are done in order because the brain has to develop in a certain order. So when we are looking at those milestones, having them done in order is really going to ensure the timing of the brain development and the neuromuscular development. So if we start doing things out of order, then the brain and the body do things out of order. And then we shouldn't be surprised when down the road we see some things pop up that, we're more concerned about, some symptoms. So if we really think that crawling before walking is super crucial, we really need to work on the baby working on cross crawl patterns, working on their brain, the left and right developing appropriately. And so chiropractic is a really great way to ensure that's happening and to really work on the mind-body connection, to really get the left and right brain building neurons, because it's going to develop so many in those first few years of life. And when we have all those things working together, we will see that milestones will develop in the proper order and at the appropriate time. But if we skip milestones or we reach them out of order, there's a cascade of issues that is going to pop up. And usually down the road, we're kind of worried about other things, like coordination, like speech, even bowel movements. All those things can be really correlated to that nervous system that's going to get really out of alignment when we are not developing the brain in an appropriate order and on time. So in our office, we talk so much about milestones again, but we really know that it's not just chiropractic that matters. We are really looking at the big picture and want a baby to have as much help as possible and as early as possible. So actually, next week in our office, we have an OT coming to start teaching some classes in our office. This is Miss Erin, and she is an OT and is really focused, again, on what I'm saying, milestones happening in the appropriate order. That is kind of her bread and butter, just like ours. And so she's going to be teaching classes here on Tuesday mornings. I can add this into the link in our bio, comment under this post, just to get more information from her. But this is a really unique opportunity for families to get experience and exposure to an OT and learn about so many of the things like rhythmic movement patterns that you're never going to learn about elsewhere at a really discounted rate at our office. And just get your kids on a head start for getting them the appropriate motor milestones hit, appropriate muscular development, appropriate brain development. But it's really important for our kids to do things in a specific order. We don't look at babies who are crawling with 1 foot and 1 leg and say they're crawling, because that's not using the body how it should, it's not using the brain how it should, and it's not building anything for them. We really need to focus on our kids having good, proper motion. Motion is what's going to build that brain. That's building all of their function, their synapses, their intelligence by getting proper motion in their body. So when we hear that babies walk at 9 months and didn't crawl or skip crawling or crawled with 1 foot, crawled on their butt, we know that there's a lot of work to be done, and this is a really great way to start to really ensure that our kids are getting a really healthy future. So if this sounds like something your kid might have going on, or that you want to ensure that your young baby is just going to be on the best track for them, you can find out more about this happening in our office, and we look forward to seeing you there. Have a great day.